Hello, welcome to the Kristen Willow Show. I'm your host, Kristen Willisunovich, here in the Gateway Hotel Convention Center studio. Oh my gosh, and my dear sweet friend, Susan Alderson, owner, CEO, and beauty extraordinaire, Susan Alderson, owner of Fountain of Youth. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello.
Thank you. It's our second show from being on hiatus.
Oh, it's so exciting.
It's so exciting, and you've been with me for years on
Years.
all these Thank you for being on all these shows with me. Years of shows. Cumulus. Remember those shows at Cumulus?
Yes, yes.
And then we did the podcast. Thank you. Gosh,
you're
can
welcome.
I say thank you for being by my side for years? It's been, what a ride.
Yeah, it has been.
Hasn't it been insane?
It has, yeah.
And during those times, marriages and divorces and grandkids and Fountain of Youth just continues to be a staple in the community. And then you just had a huge remodel.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
We've been open 20 years now. And it's same location, right at 59 and 23, right next to Black Rock. I always say that, but actually Black Rock's next door to me, and because I've been there longer.
Well, I bet you when Black Rock is saying, where's Black Rock? It's right next to Fountain of Youth.
Yes, yes.
I bet you they definitely say that.
But let me see, it's been a little over a year now. We just completely gutted the inside, and I'll tell you, I can't say enough for my builder, Mark Pellegrino from PB&J Construction. I hope it's okay I say that.
Big plug, big shout out.
Yeah.
No,
he did record, we were shut down for about 6 weeks. He did record time to get that place. I mean, there's not an inch that's not renovated in there.
Well, and let's talk about that a little bit because I remember when you were doing the remodeling and, just with any remodel in general, things happen. And especially it was kind of COVID times, wasn't it?
It was about a year after COVID. COVID was a rough year. And
tell me about it. Tell us about it, Zach.
Yeah, the next year we recovered, we did well. And then that was enough. I said, it's time. We've got to, everything was outdated. And, all of our equipment and everything is top notch, brand new. But the inside really was outdated. And we had maroon carpet in there and things.
It was very red.
We even changed the design. The front desk is not even in the same area that it used to be.
I remember when you did all that. And then you opened shop and it's got a lot of, what's the words that, it's very, what's the word? The color. It's very, come on, you guys. How's a talk show host without words? It's
neutral.
Neutral.
It's
but
neutral,
there's a term for it. I think Kanye and Kim use it.
Yeah.
But it's, and then you moved the front desk. So when I first went in there after the remodel, it is quite a sticker shock, but now it's so open and beautiful and makes sense from a feng shui.
It's very classy and clean looking.
100%.
Yeah.
And so while you said all of the machines are state-of-the-art technology and your makeup is the brands that you carry are top-notch luxury brands, it really is a good fit for everything that happened.
But it's also very inviting. It's not intimidating. It's not so fancy that you feel oh, geez, this is too expensive for me. We're very welcoming and a very friendly place to come.
Your staff is phenomenal. Your staff, they really make you feel at home, and it is very inviting. And it does become intimidating because when you think of Fountain of Youth, you think of Botox or skin filler or, whatever. And a lot of people don't have that for their pocketbook, but you guys work with everyone. You provide so many opportunities and payment plans or, discounts. It's really incredible what you do.
It is. We change people's lives.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
And then not only that, because people have this, preconceived notion that they can't afford it or they are afraid, and you really ease people into that. And 20 years, you've been doing it a long time.
Yes. Well, I've been doing it a lot longer than 20 years, but I've been at that location for 20 years now.
And let's talk about being kind of an icon of the beauty business, because you started out, you're from Flint town, baby. Here's our Flint girl. And then you became go ahead, tell your story.
Yeah,
I'm not telling it.
So I am a Flint girl. Graduated long time ago from Ainsworth High School.
Ainsworth.
Nursing, I graduated from Mott Community College at the
MCC.
time. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm Flint all the way. And I was 30 when I graduated from nursing school.
Wow,
So
you look 30 now, girl.
well, you know, everybody thinks, oh, can I reinvent myself? Can I do these things? And I tell people, like, look at me. It's not too late, you know. I'm 71 now, and I'm happy to say that because
I can't believe
yeah,
that.
But I started out at the old St. Joe's Hospital.
As a nurse.
As a nurse, and I worked in the intensive care unit there for about 15 years. And then I went to home care.
That's a lot. And
A lot.
ICU is a lot. And then you went to home care because you were a wound specialist,
Yep, I
right?
became a wound care nurse.
My girl.
Yeah, so I became a wound care nurse, and and then I went to work for a big company called Hillrom, where we placed the therapy mattresses in the home. So I still was doing home care, but I worked for the company, and I would have to go out and do measurements and things and get it, you know, so the insurance would cover it and measure the wounds and things. So I was always out there. Then I went to work for a wound care supply company for a while. And one day in the back of this magazine, I saw this thing that said, nurses, do you want to learn to do Botox? And Botox had just became FDA approved, you know, and so I stuck my neck out. I quit my job.
You really did.
I really did. I had no clue what I was doing. Went down to Florida, took this short little training and, you know, didn't have a clue what I was doing. Came back and I just kind of dabbled in it for several years until one day I'm driving by this location in Heartland, and there's this big building right on the corner for lease. And I called the landlord and I signed a lease on that building. I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't know how to do anything. I knew how to do Botox. That was about it.
Sure. And, you know, Zach, let's talk about this a little bit, you know, being in marketing and public relations. What we call you in the industry is an early adopter, right?
Right.
So you saw and had the vision and foresight because Botox comes even now with a lot of, you know, stigma with it, associated with it. But now through education and everything, because it's used, I mean, while it's used as a beauty tool, of course, but it's used I use it for migraine headaches.
Yes, yes.
So neurologists use it now. It's really kind of become this wonder drug, to be honest.
Yeah, it first started out, you know, for eye twitching. And then the doctors were kind of discovering that, wow, it was getting rid of some wrinkles at the same time. So it's been out much longer, you know, for therapeutic reasons, medical reasons, but it wasn't for the cosmetic reasons.
Sure.
And then later it became approved and it was only approved like between your eyes when I started. And they didn't have approval for other areas. But, you know, over the years, things have came, it's just amazing. Botox was the only game out there, and now I don't even know how many Botox
Like how many
type of
strands and
products there are.
forms, yeah.
But I use 4 different brands.
That you work with. And, you know, like you said too, who knew like a chance reading in the back of a magazine?
I know. Yeah.
That makes me really kind of excited. And that just kind of tells you and tells the world, like, you just never know. You never know, like, the trajectory of what life is going to take you, so don't be afraid.
Right.
Take a chance.
Exactly.
That's what I love about you is that, you know, you are a risk taker. You are a very massively savvy businesswoman. You've grown a multi-million, if not billion. I don't mean to throw some crazy numbers out there, but they're up there. Business, you're just this cute little thing, man, but you're smart as shit. And it just goes to show you, you know, you're a risk taker. But you're also very fiscal and conservative, and you're very responsible from that side as well. I mean, you kind of have to be both.
Right. And now it's pretty much, I do some injections. I have customers that won't let anyone touch them but me.
That's me. I have your girl. I have your certain ones, but
I have 3 other nurses that I've trained all of them that are excellent, that do just a great
they're phenomenal.
job.
Give a shout out, Kelly. Go ahead.
Kelly and Nikki, and now we have Casey. So we got a guy in there.
Casey's my guy.
I know, and you know what?
I freaking love Casey.
Yeah, people love him. Yeah,
I love him.
Yeah, and it's really.
I love you, Casey.
It's nice to have a guy in the place.
He's fun.
He's fun, but it's calming sometimes instead of all women.
Okay, Zach, let's talk about this. Women are bitches, and they can be catty, and they can be backstabbing and talker and emotional. And Casey is so fun, and he's like you, like laid back, unaffected, funny. People can say anything to him, and it just rolls like a water off a duck. Not that he doesn't care what you have to say, but he doesn't like get wrapped up. You know what I mean? Not that there's drama at Fountain of Youth. I'm just saying in general. And so Casey is a breath of fresh air because you can joke with him, you can say anything, and he's so good. Yeah.
And everybody that we have there have been with us for quite a long time now. So we don't have turnover or anything. And
You don't.
When you start thinking about bringing somebody new in, we're like, oh, geez, I
It's
don't know
hard.
if I want to do that. Everything is just calm right now. And
It's hard. And the training and everything, but your staff is top notch. I love them. Shout out to my girl, Ashley Patton. Love you, Ash. We raised our kids together, and I grew up with her husband. And she looks phenomenal. Let's ease into some good things that are happening there. So Fountain of Youth, you have your state-of-the-art machines that you don't have time to work out, right?
Yes.
You go through Fountain of Youth. Go ahead. Tell me a little bit what you have to offer.
Right. Well, if we start from the start, the number one thing that we had was the Botox, and we're still
100.
the biggest Botox place around. And we always say Botox, but Botox is a brand name, but people know
It's
it.
like Kleenex.
It's like Kleenex, right? People know it. And then we do that, and then we do the fillers, which fill in the things, creases
Lip fillers,
and things,
yep.
lips fillers.
I know you're
things
staring
like
at me.
that.
Quit it.
Everybody says that to me. They're like, "Quit looking at me."
I feel you.
I'm like,
I feel like you're my mother.
and
in
I
the
do.
80s.
I really find myself having that habit of always
My
looking
mom
at
used to
somebody's
stare
face.
at me. My mom, get ready for school. I go, why are you staring at me? Okay, so we have the Botox. That's kind of number one, and then the skincare.
Yeah.
And then the
And so those are the things the
And the
nurses
fillers.
do. Yep, and the fillers. And we recently brought in semaglutide, which is, we can't call it Ozempic. We don't call it, but if you turn on every news channel right now, you hear nothing but Ozempic, 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 Ozempic. That's all you hear. You hear about the you hear the Ozempic face. Every news, I turn on Good Morning America, and they've got some show about the newest weight loss drugs, and okay, how are we going to do this, and how are we going to? It's like the hottest subject out there right now.
it is, and let's talk about the talk show hosts like Kelly Clarkson and Oprah and all those. And I think Jennifer Hudson, though she hasn't come to the table about it, they're all dropping weight very rapid. Well, it's not even rapidly. They're dropping weight that now we're seeing. I even see Drew Barrymore. She hasn't come to the table, but she's lost quite a bit of weight.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest. I did it, and I lost like 40 pounds.
I think I've lost about 40 pounds too. Mine's prescribed through my physician for type 2 diabetes.
But you guys offer the skinny shot at Fountain of Youth now.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We do. And that's all, through our nurses. And of course, we have a medical director too. So everything is, I always tell people, you've got to go to reputable places because you don't know what you're getting.
Right.
And, we've been around a long time, so
You know what you're doing.
If
And
we
you have a
weren't-
medical staff.
We do. If we weren't using the good stuff, then it would come out. We would know because we're so well known. But
So-
it's just a great. It's life changing.
It is life-changing. And so what happens is if you're interested in the skinny shot, go to Fountain of Youth. Go to Fountain of Youth anyways just to experience it. It's absolutely amazing. And then what happens, like if you're interested in it, you go through kind of a protocol, right? Do we meet with you?
Yeah, we meet with the nurses. We do an assessment. We make sure there's no medical reasons that you shouldn't be on it and things like that, and go through everything. And then
Well, like you
we
said,
start you on it.
Yeah, and then you go through it, and then you ensure that people are a good candidate for it,
Yes,
and then you
yes.
start on it, and then you monitor them, correct?
We do, and they have to come in once a month. So we don't send it to the mail. We don't do video chats. We don't do anything like that. We see you in person, and we weigh you. We have this great 3-dimensional, like a scale, and it does it's like a video type scan of your body, and we give you the computer printout. And then
What does that measure?
It measures like your body fat and things like that, but it also shows your measurements. So it goes from head to toe doing your measurements.
Yes.
And so it'll show like the circumference, it'll show these lines on this graph. And then in 3 months later, you come back in and you
you're
get
shocked,
on there
yeah.
again. And it doesn't do any good to do that every month, but every 3 months, it's good to get on this scale, take that picture, And so it's not like a photograph picture. It's this actual like a graph.
Scan.
Right. And you can put like one. I'm not real scientific all the time, but you can put like one graph, like say it's your abdomen. It'll show one line, one circle, and then the next picture it'll go right over the top. So on the same piece of paper on the printout, so you can see like, oh my gosh,
You can see
it's
the
right
results.
there.
You can see like the scientific data.
Because sometimes people will come in and they say, I haven't really lost that much weight, but I feel like my clothes are looser and everything. And so once we put them on there, because
It takes time.
the weight, there's more than just what the scales say.
100%. And I bet they're massively surprised by what they see, because it's not like, I'll tell you my experience with it is that you just do it and then it starts to dissipate your appetite. So
Yes.
you really got to be mindful of eating, for one. And then it really kind of, to me, and I'm just speaking from my own experience, like I've always been an athlete, but I had a shit metabolism, and it almost kind of, it regulates your metabolism. It kind of gives you a fair, even playing field with the world, to be honest. That's my opinion of it.
Yeah, it does two things. It works on your, it works on the brain to tell you that you're not
full.
hungry or you don't have any appetite, that you don't like food. And it works on your GI system. It slows your GI system down. So it tells you that you're full faster.
So you're not shoveling it in like you usually do.
And so, like, for me, I don't really deprive myself of anything. If I want a piece of pie, even though you don't have those cravings so
for
much.
a pie.
But if I want it, like, I'll eat it, but I might only eat 2 bites of it, then I'm full.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't eat any more of this.
That's what happened to me. And then with me on it, like I had a little different experience because I don't have a gallbladder, and I don't know that I did a little bit of research, because a lot of people are getting on it through your doctors, like pre-diabetic, or if you're diabetic.
Yes.
And then now, again, it's available at Fountain of Youth, the Skinny Shot. And for me, I really kind of had to avoid some of the foods like cheese and dairy. I don't eat a lot of it anyways, and I'm a vegetarian, but I really kind of had to change my diet a little bit. And I would go eat pie or a chip or something because I was starving, but I wouldn't eat the whole bag like I normally would.
And we're so busy that we just grab the quickest thing we can grab, because who's got time? I grabbed and ate a banana before I came in here because I've been on the run. I haven't got time to, sit down and eat a proper meal.
But you ate a banana. At least you
Yeah,
ate
it
that.
was better, yeah, instead of a candy bar.
Well,
but-
I've been buying apples because I'm here working, so I go to the gift shop. Oh, I'll get some Doritos and a Coke. I don't even drink pop, but then I will tell you too, you start it and like, it's kind of like, when you start your own diet and you're like, okay, I'm going to do it. Okay, am I skinny yet within a day or two? It's not like that. It's really cool psychologically, because you just start doing it and living your life. And next thing you know, it's like 4 or 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And you're like, oh, shit, I'm all right. I can see it in my face. Yeah. I can see it in my clothes. And like you said, then you go about 3 months later and you get your scan, and then you can really start to see results. But you're not so rushed to lose the weight. It's really kind of an even flow into it. Would you agree with that?
Yes. I mean, before that, you can starve yourself, for 2 weeks, and you're just like, go work out, run, do everything, and you get on the scales, and you're like, oh, I put 5 pounds on. And guess what? You quit because you're so frustrated.
Right.
But this just...
Then you binge.
Yeah. So this just, it's rapid for the average person. Everybody responds differently, but it's rapid enough that you can keep it going.
That's
you
right.
I can do it another week. I can do this one more month.
Yeah.
I can do this because I've lost and it's working.
Well,
and then pretty soon, then you're like, I'm not quitting this because,
Yeah.
I still have 50 more pounds to lose and it's working.
Well, the other thing too, like I want to point out, is that like we have the big wedding coming up. Well, actually, let me point this out. And this is really, I might cry because I might get emotional about this, but one of my very best friends from Fenton, she rarely posts on Facebook. Absolutely beautiful. And she posted, I went to bed last night, it was late and tired. She had 4 heart attacks. And she is the epitome of health. We played volleyball. She played in college. We played in high school. We played after in AA leagues, women's high-end volleyball. The epitome of health, doesn't really drink, never smoked, lived on Lake Fenton. 4, she felt it in her jaw. So she said, I'm not posting this for attention. She never posts. It's for awareness. In her jaw, and then down her left arm, clearly all the signs, and then tightening of her chest. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I just had another friend. I didn't even tell you that Ken died. Ken. Yeah. Ken died. And they're 50 some years old, and it's heart attacks, and it's weight, and it's cholesterol. And for me, like now it's a health thing. Like, of course I want to look good. That's a given. And Mila's wedding's coming up. But you know what? Mila had back-to-back babies. She's getting married. I mean, this weight gain, we don't think about it. It's a big deal.
It is.
I went on it, lost 30 to 40 pounds, got a little too thin. I like my curves a little bit, but I do need, but when I lost even 40, 50 pounds, nobody really kind of noticed. They noticed a healthier me. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like healthy. They're like, oh my God, you look amazing. Like you look perfect right now. And I want to go down like another 20 pounds because that actually my BMI is where I should be.
Yeah.
But from a health standpoint, you know, we talk about the skinny shot, the controversy behind it. I'm not going to go into it for this show. We can talk a different time, but it really, the benefits outweigh the risks.
The benefits do. And that's why, you know, we first, if anyone comes into us, they have medical, we first steer them to go to their own doctor and try to get their doctor to put them on it. And, you know, because it's really well accepted now and approved. But what we've seen a lot of lately is we've seen that the people have gone in there, they've gotten on it, their insurance has covered it or covered a portion of it, and we don't do any insurance billing at Fountain of Youth. We just don't do that.
It's all cash,
Right.
or payment plan.
Right. So we try to get people at first to go to their own physician and try to get it covered through their insurance.
Because it's expensive.
It is expensive. It is. And what's happened is a lot of people, and this isn't just me, you're hearing it on the news, you're hearing it everywhere. People have gotten on it. They're starting to lose weight. They're successful. And then the insurances are pulling it out and taking them off of it, and people can't afford it then. And they would have never, these are people who genuinely could not afford it, and they would have probably never started on it
100%.
if they thought. So now they are reaching out to us for help because we
They need
are an alternative. They've already been on it. They already know it works. But in my opinion, the cost of obesity is far, far worse than the cost of this medication.
Amen, sister.
So it's just a matter of time. The insurance companies are going to have to start paying it. I mean, the cost of what a heart attack costs, the cost of,
Medical care, and especially now with, like, I don't know, our Gen X we're hurting.
And we have in our strip mall around the corner, we have a physical therapy place, and I know the physical therapist pretty well, and we kind of, neighbor and partners, and, I talked to him a lot, and I told him, I said, look, I know people that have had knee replacements, hip replacements, and they're very overweight. And then they go have their knee replacement, they go to therapy, they're still having trouble, and they want to blame the doctor. Oh, I must have got a bad joint or something, And it's strictly because they haven't taken the weight off, and they've went back and they've put all this weight back on this brand new joint, and it fails.
And the thing is, what's so obvious, like to you or me or Zach, it's like it just baffles me, the lack of self-awareness sometimes, doesn't it? Well, and real quickly, like there was a mother and son that I met, and I met them, and he was in town. They lived in Sandusky, Michigan. I didn't know there was Sandusky, Michigan, but there is, everyone. And he was in town. He's very obese son, and the mom, he's an only child. You could tell the mom was so cute. She was trying to give me his phone number. Thank you. I can do wrong all by myself. Madeline, thank you. He was in town to get gastro bypass because his insurance wouldn't cover it. I go, why don't you get the shots?
Yeah.
His insurance wouldn't cover it, so he's gonna get a gastro bypass.
Yeah.
Plus, he had complications from. I mean, he was a high risk gastro bypass. So it almost seems to me like the gastro bypass industry is like pissed or some shit like that. Am I wrong?
I mean,
I don't know. I'm
could be.
speculating.
And I've seen a lot of the people went through these huge surgeries, things like that. You know, I used to take care of them when we had the therapy beds because it was such a huge surgery, wounds and things like that. Their wounds wouldn't heal. They were so unhealthy. And that's what the kind of, in my early days, kind of patients that I took care of. And it's very, very, very costly. And the surgeries and the hospitalizations and things like that.
And the recovery, and it's just ridiculous. Well, I could talk to you for 5 million hours, but you will be coming on all the time, the time.
Great.
Because this is just such a fascinating topic, isn't it? And what a world we live in.
And it's so interesting, even not just the shot, but how the whole aesthetic industry has changed and is revolving since I started.
Girl.
You know, it's so different than what it used to be, and you know.
And you've changed, and I've changed, and we just have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Like in general, like women and the evolution and motherhood and grandparenthood and how we, you know, as we age, like wanting to look good, and then people who don't want, you know, there's a lot of like people who go, I don't want to do Botox, and I respect that. Like, look at Pam Anderson and the no makeup thing, you know. And I'll be honest, like I'm due. You can tell. I see you staring at me, Susan. You see her, don't you, Zach? Like my mom did in the '80s. I'm due, but you know what? I've gone a little while, and I see my reflection and go, oh, this, that, or great. And I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I take age as every day is a gift. Waking up and being older is a gift. But I am mad.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're here because I'm going to fix it. And you know what? It's okay that I want it. And it's okay if people don't want it.
It is.
That's what it's become. And judgment free. I don't value judgment.
And you'd be amazed at the men that we have now. It's really changed. It used to be so unusual for a man, but men are really into this now. And you know, they have a job, and people are working older and they're competing with younger people.
Oh,
and
don't you see that?
Right. And men, they're like, well, everybody will say, well, how come you're mad? They're like, I'm not mad. Well, you're frowning all the time. I'm not. And so they're coming in, they're wanting the Botox now because they're having to keep those jobs, and you know.
No, it's the truth. Look at Zach. I mean, look at how much help he needs. I mean, look at those wrinkles.
Yeah.
But isn't he funny?
I wish I had that
funny
forehead.
How cute he looks? He looks like he lives in Colorado. He's aging backwards, and I hate him, but it's fine. And then you're right. I will tell you, talking about the men or keeping within this industry, like my baby, you know, baby Meg, like they're all graduating from college and
I know.
they're getting their masters. Like we have to compete against these 22-year-olds.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, part of me doesn't want to compete. I'm tired.
Right.
But I still have that energy and that vigor, you know, that vitriol, that piss and vinegar that, you know, wants to keep in the game too. We're too young to be down in Florida.
I don't know what I would do if I didn't work, really. I mean, when
Could
I
you
get
be in Florida and just talk about coleslaw dressings and be on the yachts?
I mean, I get down there and I'll be down there for a couple of weeks and I'm antsy. I want to know what's going on up here. I want to know, you know, what's going on.
Girl, you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
get me started on Marco Island. Yeah. Girl, please. So, Fountain of Youth, get in there. Where are you located, beautiful girl?
We are located on the southwest corner of 59 and 23, right on the exit ramp, right there, and right next door to Black Rock.
Right? Well, Black Rock is right next door to
Yes.
Fountain of Youth. So you exit the Heartland exit. If you're going south, you take a right and you do a first
the
left
hand.
right there, and then go get your Botox on, go get your skinny shot, go get your workout, go get your facial, and then you know what? We'll do this. Go have a steak at Black Rock, and then I'll be calling Black Rock for sponsorship after this. But get in to see my girl Susan, and if she's not there because she's very busy, that staff is unbelievable. Ashley will be there to greet you. She'll take great care of you, and your staff, your nursing staff, is benchmark.
Right, and you can just walk in and see us. You know, sometimes you can't get an appointment, but you can walk in and see us. Walk right in. We've got a great big nice lobby with a little boutique in the front, a lot of skincare, and so.
Yeah, there's
we
a
have
lot of great
people just walk
merchandise
in
and
shop,
shopping.
yeah.
And sometimes they can see you, and sometimes they can't, but get in there, shop, boutique, beautiful. You have the best skin products and lip gloss and makeup. You have the best. And Fountain of Youth. I just can't love you more. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for being with me all these years and believing in me and me believing in you. And you've really been by my side. And I can't tell you how
great.
thankful and grateful I am.
Well, I'm excited about this podcast and all the new things going on.
Yeah, Gateway Hotel and Convention Center. And we're doing a lot of great things. And we're partnering with a lot of great people in the community and beyond the community, on a regional, national scale.
This Hill Road corridor right now, this is a booming place to be. This is really...
One thing we talk about too, Zach and I had this conversation, and I'm sure you'll definitely agree, is this is a landmark.
This is a landmark.
You come in here and you go, oh my gosh, in 1998, let me tell you, girl. And what had happened was, it's kind of like your house, your first little starter house that you build or you move, and then you go to sell as you grow. And for me, it was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't sell to just anyone. This is my home. Like even my big home I sold had to be someone important. And I think this is that place that just had to have that right owner, that right person, and it does. And they came in, bought it right after COVID, spent millions in remodels, and just opened first quarter 2024. And we are off and running. And what a privilege and honor, isn't it, Zach, for us to be a big part of it. And you too.
And the restaurant's opening soon?
Basil and Olive is being opened by Chef Lewis, who owns Redwood.
Yes.
It's going to be Mediterranean and pasta. Hello. Hi.
If it's
me my
Lewis,
skinny shot.
it'll be good.
and Lewis will be handling all of our banquet.
Oh, it'll be great.
Efforts.
He used to own a place right near me on Lobdell Lake, and he owned that restaurant for a long time. And then he had Broad Street in downtown Linden.
My parents
until
lived at
that
Broad
burned
Street.
down. So we know Lewis, well.
Very
so
well. He's
I'm
family.
excited. Yeah.
Welcome to you've always been part of the family, but welcome to the Gateway family,
There,
baby.
yeah.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much. Second show, baby. Second of a million.
Okay.
Right? Second of a million, Zach.
Yeah.
A million. I love you. Susan Alderson, get into Fountain of Youth. You look amazing. And go in and check on your skinny shot. As always, thank you to my producer and best friend and confidant, Zach Roney, back in his house. We'll get him some Botox. And as always, to our viewers and listeners, thank you so much. This is our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. And we're back. This has been I'm Kristen Wolosinovich, and this has been the Kristen Willow Show.